The Nasty Collective Podcast. Yeah, I said the Nasty Collective Podcast. What we talking about?
Good, everybody. We back with another motherfucking Nasty Collective Podcast. And today, we got the man of the motherfucking hour, Johnny Marz. What's good, brother?
What's up, man?
Introduce yourself, man. Introduce yourself. Let the people know.
I'm Johnny Marz. I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
I rap really well. Check me out. Check me out on all my socials at Johnny Marz _MARZ. I got something for everybody, man.
I guess it's really hard when I say, like, tell them a little bit about yourself or tell them what you do, because you do a lot, you know? You be doing a lot of shit, so it's, like, hard to, like, put it all in one category almost.
I guess, I like to be a little humble.
Yeah.
I'm a rapper, but I like to do a lot of things. I'm a creative person. I help do events and stuff with my homies in Des Moines.
Give me 1 sec. Let me shut this dog up. All right, Johnny. We're really interrupted by a fucking pit bull puppy. But what's good, man? Tell us how you were saying that you were down to earth. You know what I mean? Like, you're really humble about, like, your title, bro. Like,
yeah. I mean, really, I'd say I'm a rapper and stuff, but I do a lot of different stuff. A lot of events with my homies in Des Moines. A lot of different creative things, like designing different kinds of merch. Anthony be helping me out with that, designing, like helping direct with music videos and all kinds of different things. So really I rap, but like I like to dabble in all kinds of other different things.
It's almost like, when they say don't put all your eggs in a basket, like, you really do have different, like, multiple sources, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where, like, you have your avenues, And, like, even on that merch, like, your merch almost looks like just straight clothing, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, it's not even, like, at a point, it's like you thought so much into it where it doesn't even look like it's just merchandise,
Thanks, yeah. That's kind of like the goal, is to make something that really resonates with people, like an actual brand, That's something that just my homies and I in Des Moines just kind of try to do, instead of just making the basic kind of merch, make something that's actual. Fashionable.
And Des Moines, I feel like, is like, I don't want to talk shit about Sioux City, but Des Moines is like almost like a little bit of a step ahead, where it's like whatever drops in Des Moines will eventually like reach into like Sioux City a little, Right. But it's like it'll take like a little second before it does. So it's like almost if you like go to Des Moines, you do see like all these talented like artists trying to like reach new heights,
Yeah, there's a lot of people, I would say, in Des Moines that are really like pushing the boundaries of things, and so you really got to be on it, you're competing with them. I've said it before, but like not only are you competing with everybody in Sioux City, but in Des Moines and stuff, so it's like you got to come correct, and you got to make something that's going to stand out, and so and that's with everything from your videos to your merch to your lyrics to the production on your projects.
Do you feel like you have been doing that with yourself? Like,
most
you definitely have been pushing that boundary.
Yeah, for sure. At least for myself personally, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I've really tapped in finding out who I am and making a brand out of like me and myself. Out of my interests, and because there's people out there who are going to resonate with what I like. If you like something, there's a million people that are going to like it too. So
I like how you just said that too. Like how you said you had to really like almost dig deep into yourself. Right. What does that look like? Like because there's a lot of people here, even including myself, where it's like I kind of fall off character a little bit because I'd be like either judging myself or like not really knowing who I am. Yeah. So it's like, what is it that you did that like allowed you to like dig deep into your personality almost,
Not gonna lie, it was hard. Right. It was hard because you kind of do have to go through a moment of like experimentation to find out what you do like and what you don't like. And after a certain point, I think you just start to like accept different things about you. And honestly, like my friends in Des Moines, we're all so different. So it's like they kind of helped me discover who I am.
Just
like,
being around those different personalities.
Right. Because it's like I got like one homie that's really athletic and really fit. Mm-hmm. And then I have another homie that's really spiritual. And, they're like opposites, but they like really mesh well together. And it's like, okay, like, they just capitalized on their strengths and understood the weaknesses. And like, I think that's the beautiful thing about life is everybody brings something different to the table.
Even like on touching on that, like a big thing I say is that like to see is to believe. When you start to see something happen, like you start to believe it a lot more.
Right.
Like in my field, for like videography, photography, and just mixed media visually, I have like being that brown kid growing up and shit, you don't really get that expectation of like I could be my own boss or shit like that, 'cause you don't really see that shit around. Right. So like the way I kind of like put myself is when I was like in Dallas, shout out Dallas, but when I was in Dallas, I would see creators and they would be like, they'd be doing what I want to do, like this whole video shit and just doing it full time. And I'm like, damn, like to see them actually do that made me want to even drive that shit a little harder.
It's like it is possible. It's like
exactly, and that's why I brought that shit back over here. And it's like now with that mentality of wow, I saw someone do this shit. Mm-hmm. I know I have the possibility of being able to do that.
Right.
And when motherfuckers are looking at me, I hope that like the young little Mexican boy out there isn't looking at like Seaborg or Tyson as his only option, and he's like, yo, Nasty Code did that shit. Maybe I can pick up a camera,
Right, you can be creative and get somewhere because, like...
Exactly.
Yeah, like, growing up, there wasn't, like, a lot of creative outlets, I feel like, especially for music, because, like, there was really only, like, sports or... shit, getting into trouble, really, And so... I was lucky enough to find music, and that's what really stuck with me, and that's what helped me express myself. So,
even talking to some of your old other homies, they even attribute like you and AM Mixes. Shout out AM Mixes.
Yeah, shout out AM Mixes.
But they attribute like both of you to being like the pioneers of like this music shit almost. Where like coming out of high school or even in high school, you guys were trying to do your shit.
Yeah, we were really doing it at a young age. We were just, it was something we wanted to do, and nobody was really doing it, so there wasn't much of an outlet. Like, we couldn't just go up to different venues and perform and stuff like that. There wasn't any like recording studios to record at. Anthony's brother got some equipment, and so that was really what allowed us to start recording early on. You know what I'm saying? So,
what did the shows look like back then? What were like the Whiskey Dicks and the Marquee? What were they throwing?
Shit, man, it was a lot of. I mean, I was still pretty young. I couldn't really go to many of these shows, but it was more like rock and country type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
We are Midwest.
That's
true.
I didn't see many hip hop shows growing up, and if they were in like tiny bars.
I remember a show being thrown, and it was a hip hop themed show at a place that doesn't really throw a hip hop theme, and they were like a little sketchy about it. You know what I mean? They were like they were really on game with like security and shit because they knew that like hip hop means like violence. You know what I mean? That's what like the correlation was.
They kind of get it. They perceive it very badly. Yeah. I don't really understand.
But it's just that we the bottoms. You know what I mean? The people who are rapping and shit. We're not the rich guys.
Yeah, they didn't understand it. They didn't really. But we still didn't let that stop us. We still tried to do everything we could. We made T-shirts. We made CDs. We hustled those shits. Shit. Like at school, we hustled that. We invested money, and we're like 16. We didn't have I'm working at Alfredo's Pizza. I'm not making much money.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Anthony and our homie Gifted, you know, we weren't making much money. So we threw... Shout out Gifted. Yes, and so we threw in all the money we could. And so we got merch. We just tried to be as official as we could. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
shit, that's a lot more moves than some people be making even nowadays, bro. You know, so as like little kids and shit, like damn, you really saw the drive there.
Right. Yeah, we knew that's what it would take to really be taken seriously. You know what I mean?
I had a gym teacher once even tell me like, one of the students told him, "You think there's a Michael Jordan out there in the basketball court?" He's like, "Look, man, if there was a Michael Jordan out there, you would have already known it." You know what I mean? Right. And like even seeing you guys like do that shit since a young age, it's like, yeah, you see it. You know what I mean? It's not even like, oh, he's gonna make it. You say that because you see progress.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's like you just stay at it. You stay consistent with it. We didn't know what we were doing, really. We never sought out to be, I guess, quote unquote, pioneers or anything, but it's cool to be a part of the history. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now looking back, like, yeah, we were really involved with the history. Yeah,
and that's what people have to give you that credit for, because if they don't, man, it's not, you're not, like, if people don't, you don't want to see people rewrite history, you know what I mean? Right. And, like, for Sioux City, that shit is what happened. Like, that's just straight up. Yeah. You know, and the people who are saying that they're, like, the best rappers nowadays, like, do have to pay their respect to that shit. Where, you know?
Right. Like, I mean, yeah. We were still kids, you know, had a lot to improve on, but we were still really doing it, like you said. Yeah. There were still a lot of people older than us that weren't, like, moving like that, you know? So...
What do you think that, like, gave you that, like, those ideas, that like motion of like doing that shit? What pushed you to do that as a little kid?
Honestly, it's kind of weird because it's just manifestation. Like it was just like, I remember being little wanting to do this, and I would take like, this is when you had to buy physical CDs, and I would take out all the artwork and draw my own artwork and just imagine my own CDs. And so I just always wanted that, like just for myself, you know. That was just for myself. Like, even knowing that, like, I didn't know if anybody was going to buy the CDs. I didn't know if anybody was going to buy the shirts. I wanted the shirts. I wanted to have my own shirt for me. And so that's what...
That's cool as fuck, bro.
That's what drove me personally to want it, you know what I'm saying? To want to do that. But obviously, like... You obviously want to get support, obviously. So, like, the fact that people were buying the CDs and the shirts, like, just really showed me that we can really do this. Yeah. Like, people were really listening to our music. You know, we were really making a name for ourselves. And there were people older than us that were noticing that and were putting us on shows and stuff. And so to see that at an early age was like, okay, we can do this. Like, it is possible. And so if we're doing this now, we can only get better from here on out.
Like, so what game would you put on youngins? Almost like 7 Squad. Shout out 7 Squad. I talk about 7 Squad a lot on
here, they're dope. I fuck with 7 Squad.
Yeah, what kind of game would you give someone like that, or, you know, just the next kid coming up, like, that isn't still in high school wanting to rap, you know?
I would just say, just keep... I know it sounds cliche, but just like keep working, like keep writing. That's what I did. It was just write and write and write and write and write, and still to this day. I mean, freestyle, write, whatever you do, but like keep creating. Like, don't give yourself an expiration date. Don't give yourself a time limit. Like, fall in love with the process, because you're going to make mistakes, and that's a part of it. And that's where you see the most growth, because you learn from that. Yeah.
I have been fucking up so much recently with my camera and shit like that. Like, I go over my footage, you know, every here and there, and then I'm just like, fuck, if I just change that one thing, or if I just like move back a little bit. I'm always like that with like every single footage I've been shooting. But I'm like, you know what? Instead of like worried about so much about like that video not turning out how I wanted it to, I'm more like happy the fact that like I even went out and shot that.
It's even just the fact that like you made the video.
Yeah.
And like it is still good. They might have some flaws, but like
the
next one is gonna be better. And the fact that you did that one is a success.
Right.
Now you just move on and just keep staying at it.
Yeah. You can't stay too attached to things like that, you know?
Right.
Especially like in a field where you gotta keep making shit. You can't be too attached to things. But if you are, then like make sure that shit grows with you.
Right, obviously. And like actually care about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know, you're not going to grow if you don't care about what you're making, you know? So
one guy yesterday, he asked me about a documentary on himself, and you know, I was all down for it. But he like people with me, they like to use the words quick and small.
Right.
So when they're like, "Hey, I just want a quick video. Hey, you think we can shoot a small video?"
Right.
They say that, and in my head, it's because you're using some psychology shit where you're like, okay, it's gonna be a cheap video, you know, like charge me low, which is cool. But like
you're
what
gonna
I said,
get cheap quality product, you know.
But I'm not even down for that. Like that cheap quality shit, I'm not even down to do it, you know.
Right.
So when someone does come at me like that, it's like, no, bro, like we're not making a small video. We're making a badass video.
Right.
Or else go to someone else that would just shoot a video for you. Right. But like if you're coming to me, it's because you want someone that has passion in this shit.
Right.
I was like, I don't just do this to make sure that you like it or he likes it. I do this because at night I'm happy that I just got done doing that. You know?
Right.
So it's like I tell him like put some respect on my name, and he's like, nah, dude.
And I wouldn't have. It's art at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It's you. That's how you got to see it too. Is it's art. You want to be Picasso with this shit. You know. You want to be
Basquiat.
Yeah. You want to be up there. So like, you know, make art that is you. It's all art from the cover art to your clothes that you wear to the merch that you sell. You have to be art.
Yeah, and you know like you said something earlier off camera where you were saying that you like to be really, really involved into like the music video process of like you know, you be drawing like stick figures of like the scenes, you know, just because you're that involved into like the project. Right. Yeah.
Especially like say videos because. I just like to be creative in all endeavors, but I like to have a vision, and like so my homie Danny Torello, shout out Danny.
Yo, shout out Danny for real, bro. Danny is one of the most creative motherfuckers out here.
Creative as
and he is like slept on, and he sleeps on himself too. I won't say that much because that boy should drop a lot more shit and should be a lot because he. Like I'm sorry for this rant, but like Danny, bro, is like
he goes crazy.
Growing up around here in Sioux City and starting to do this photo shit, I always almost like looked up to Danny because I saw his art and I was like, bro, that shit fire as fuck. That's a whole new avenue. That's like people aren't making the way he's making.
He's got a vision, man.
Yeah, and that's why I was always like, damn, this dude needs to like get on some shit, you know? Because he be on some like. Some almost cinematic things before people were making some cinematic shit here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm like, damn. So just shout out Danny for real.
Yeah, when I had a few videos and I had them all drawn out, you know what I'm saying? From like 0.0 seconds to the whole 2 minutes of the whole video, scene by scene. And I approached him with it and he made it reality. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's why like he was my, like we started out early on. Like he was one of those people that like helped me bring my vision to life.
If you guys haven't,
AMX has helped me bring my sound to life.
Yeah. Go check out Johnny's music videos, bro. Them bitches fire as fuck.
Thank you.
They're one of the like best videos out here as like a Sioux City Des Moines artist. Like you have made some badass videos.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I really tried to put like again like thought into it and care into it because like I grew up seeing like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre represent LA and the West Coast, and I seen like Slim Thug and Paul Wall and UGK represent like Texas and shit, you know what I'm saying? And in the videos you always see like them repping their city,
their neighborhood,
and it, like again, I wanted to see my city like that, and that like you know what I'm saying. So I made videos that I wanted to see. I wanted to see videos with my homies just posted up doing what they do. Like the shit that you see in the videos like is real. Like it's a way of life that I'm trying to show people who don't live here that like this is what happens. This is life here. Like it's not life for everybody, but it is life for a good amount of people. Like a lot of people resonate with this. They see this.
Yeah. That's cool as fuck. And I guess the word I would use for that is authentic, bro. You're straight up authentic to like who you are and like what Johnny Marz is. It's not like one day you're like a character of like Johnny Marz and like on stage and shit, and then you get off and like you change. Like you're straight the person Johnny Marz, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's like solid as fuck for real.
Thanks, man.
What final like question, like what final statements do you have for the people that are viewing you right now, and like where can we see you in the future here?
Final statements.
Yes, sir.
Final statements. You know, they say life is like chess.
Right.
I don't know how to play chess. I'm just kidding. Nah.
Hey, that's what's up.
Nah. You know, just be fearless. Go after what you want. You know, you only live once in this world. Don't listen to anybody who's trying to talk down to you, trying to tell you otherwise. Even if you fail, it's better to fail at doing something you want to do than to fail at doing something you don't want to do and playing it safe.
Upwards.
Shout out Jim Carrey. But, you know, yeah, for real, just chase after your dreams, whatever it is. It don't have to be nothing crazy. If you want to get married and live on a farm and raise a family, do that shit.
Yeah.
Don't let people tell you that shit's crazy. You know, if you want to go to fucking Mars, do that shit. You want to be a rapper, do that shit.
And with that being said, my boys, Johnny Marz, ladies and gents, Nasty Collective Podcast, doses.